let's look at how to write dominant seventh chords on an actual piece of paper, or in this case, a whiteboard. Remember, the steps are: number 1, write the root; number 2, write a major triad above the root; and number 3, write a minor seventh above the root, and you will get a dominant seventh chord. Let's do a few, just so you can see how they're all the same. Let's start by writing a dominant seventh chord constructed on the note A. Step 1 is to write the root. So there's an A. Check. Step 2 is to write a major triad above the root. Okay, so here's our root, and I'm going to build a major triad on top. There's our snowman, and this is an A minor triad right now, because I know that because this is a perfect fifth and a minor third. I need to add C sharp. Now it's a major triad. That's step 2 done. Now step 3 is to write a minor seventh above the root. Okay, well, I'll start by writing a seventh, and then we'll figure out whether it's major or minor after I do so. So there's the root, and a seventh above A would be that G up there. And now let's figure out, is A to G a major seventh or a minor seventh? I know that the seventh note of an A major scale should be G sharp. This isn't G sharp, it's G that happens to be smaller than a major seventh. So this is a minor seventh. And step 3 is done. That is a dominant seventh chord built on the note A. A is the root. Step 2 was to make a major triad above the root. That's a major triad. And the last thing was to write a minor seventh above the root. Let's do another one over here. This time, let's build a dominant seventh chord on top of the note B flat. I'm going to start lower, down here. Step 1 is to write the root. The root is B flat. There it is there. Now step 2 is to write a major triad on top of the root. Build your snowman. Okay, is this a B flat major triad? Yes, it is. I know that because B flat to D is a major third and B flat to F is a perfect fifth. That's our major triad formula that we learned in past lessons. And step 3 is to write a minor seventh on top of the root. What's a minor seventh on top of B flat? I know the seventh note of a B flat major scale is A natural. This is a major seventh. A minor seventh is 1 semitone smaller than a major seventh, so I need to lower that by 1 semitone. And there we go. That is a dominant seventh chord built on the note B flat. And that's the root quality chord symbol, and that's the root quality chord symbol of that, A7, B flat 7. Just to double check and to reiterate, B flat is the root. I wrote a major triad on top of the root, and then I wrote a minor seventh on top of the root. And I happened to do that without a key signature. Now the next thing I want to do is discuss how different labels can cause confusion when writing dominant seventh chords. So look down here. Over here we have root quality chord symbols. Remember, they're written above the staff. And down here we have functional chord symbols. Now we're going to practice writing dominant seventh chords using both, and I need you to pay attention so you don't get confused. Let's start with the root quality chord symbols. So, if this was a question on your exam, you would have been given a root quality chord symbol. The root quality chord symbol in this case is the dominant seventh built on B. Remember, root quality. The root is B, and the quality is a seventh chord. The root is B. The root is B. Step 1 is to write B. Now, why did I say that 3 times? It's because sometimes people get confused and think they have to write the dominant 7th in the key of B major. But remember, root quality chord symbols have nothing to do with key signatures. They simply give you the root. So the root is B. That's step 1. Step 2 is to write a major triad on top of the root. A major triad on top of B would be D sharp and F sharp. And step 3 is to write a minor 7th on top of the root. A minor 7th on top of B is A. That is the dominant 7th chord that is built on the note B. Now let's pause for a second. Let's ask ourselves, what key is this dominant 7th chord found in? B is the 5th note of 2 keys that you know, E major and E minor. Remember, the note B is the dominant of these 2 keys. E, you go up to the 5th note of an E major scale or an E minor scale, you would land on B. So in E major or in E minor, this is the dominant 7th chord that you would be using, even though the root quality chord symbol label says B7, because B is the root. So don't get this symbol confused with the key signature. Let's do a dominant 7th chord built on F, not the dominant 7th chord of F. The root is F. Step 2 is a major triad. Step 3 is a minor 7th. We have just built a dominant 7th chord on the note F. It's the dominant 7th of it. It's the dominant 7th built on F. Now, in what key does this dominant 7th chord exist? The root is F. F is the 5th note of what major and minor scale? Count down 5 steps and you will land on B flat, not B natural. The 5th note of a B major scale is F sharp, but the 5th note of a B flat major scale is F. So while the chord symbol has a gigantic letter F in it, this dominant 7th chord actually exists in the key of B flat major and B flat minor. Now let's write dominant 7th chords coming at them from a different angle. Now we've been given functional chord symbols. So in this question we're going to be asked to write the dominant 7th chord of F major, not a dominant 7th chord on F. And over here we are going to be asked to write a dominant 7th chord of E minor, not the dominant 7th chord on E. Those are important distinctions. Let's start with F major. We need to do one extra step. This is a little bit more work. We don't know right away what the root is of the dominant 7th chord in F major. So we have to count up and figure out what the dominant note of F major is. So F is the tonic and we count up 5 steps. We will get to the note C. F, G, A, B flat, C. 5 steps up, C is the dominant of F major. So the root of the dominant 7th chord of F major is C. C, step 1. Step 2, major triad. Step 3, minor 7th on top. Oops, I made a mistake. I didn't need to write that because I wrote a key signature. The key signature does that for me. Now, the root quality chord symbol is C7, because C is the root. Do you see how these two things can be confusing? The root quality chord symbol represents the root of the dominant 7th chord. But the functional chord symbol works with the key signature. So don't get these two things confused. This is a dominant 7th built on C, and it is also the dominant 7th of F major or F minor. Last one, the dominant 7th chord of E minor. First thing we have to do is write the root, and we don't know the root. We have to count 5 steps up above E to the dominant note, figure out what that is, and then we can write it down. Let's do that now. In an E minor scale, we would have E, F sharp, G, A, B. B is a dominant of E minor. There's a B. Step 2 is to write a major triad on top. Now, a major triad on top of B has D sharp and F sharp, and you have to, this D sharp also happens to be the leading tone of E minor. Remember, when you write dominant 7th chords in a minor key, you have to physically write in the leading tone, which creates a dominant triad, a major triad on the dominant. See, over here when we were in F major, I didn't have to write any accidentals. In fact, I did, and it was a mistake. I had to erase it. But over here, when you're in minor, when you're writing dominant 7ths in minor keys, you will have to write at least one accidental, which is usually always the leading tone. And step 3 is to write a minor 7th on top. Okay, and the root quality chord symbol, the root is B, and the quality is a 7th chord. So look here how that can be confusing. This is a dominant 7th chord. It's a dominant 7th chord built on B, but altogether it is the dominant 7th chord of E minor and E major. Functional chord symbols, root quality chord symbols, practice doing both. If you're using functional chord symbols, you're thinking with a key signature, and you might have to count up to find the dominant. And if you're working with root quality chord symbols, they've given you the root, and you might have to count down to figure out the key that you are in. And I hope that helps you write dominant 7th chords on your level 5 RCM exam.